Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a trading system that reportedly took a $30,000 account and turned it into over 10 million. But this isn't about getting lucky. It's about conquering the one emotion that wrecks most traders, FOMO.
Yeah, that's the number. Over $10 million from a $30,000 start in just a few years. It's a mind-blowing result for sure. But the number itself, that's not the secret. The real secret is what the system solves. It solves the single biggest problem in trading, making decisions based on emotion. You know that feeling, right? The fear of missing out, FOMO. That panic that makes you chase a stock that's already taken off only to lose money. This system is designed to kill that feeling dead. So what's the big secret? Well, it all starts with a huge shift in how you see the market. You stop guessing, you stop reacting to every little price move, and instead, you start following the giants. The core philosophy is actually pretty simple. Stop trading randomly and start aligning your trades with the big money. You're looking for what are called institutional quality stocks. These are the ones that massive institutions are just piling into. Why? Because they're the ones with enough cash to create those huge, lasting moves. So how on earth do you find them? You look for their footprints. Seriously, when you see a stock that usually trades, say, a couple million shares a day, suddenly trade 20 or 30 million, that's your signal. As the trader Ariel says, that's not your Aunt Susie buying a few shares. That's an institution making a massive move. And you want to be on the same side of that trade.
Okay, let's get into the actual toolkit. See, this system isn't about just buying when you feel like it. It's about extreme patience, waiting for one of three very specific, high-probability setups to show up on the chart. First up, we've got the flatbed breakout. This is such a classic pattern. You've got a stock that's just been moving sideways for a while, hitting its head on the same price ceiling over and over again. That horizontal line becomes a real battleground.
And spotting it couldn't be simpler. You find that sideways channel, you draw that line in the sand right across the top, and then you just wait. The second the price smashes through that line with real decisive volume, that's your entry. You're getting in right as the bulls have won the battle.
NVIDIA is a perfect example of this. After a monster run, it went completely sideways for 5 months, just coiling up like a spring right under that $500 mark. The breakout was the only signal you needed. And here's a key insight from the trader behind the system. The strongest stocks in the world, they often don't give you a second chance. They break out and they are gone. If you wait for a pullback, you've already missed the entire move.
All right, next up is the delayed high volume close. And let me tell you, this setup is your absolute antidote to FOMO. You know the scenario. A stock reports killer earnings and gaps up 20% at the open. Your emotions are screaming, buy it now, don't miss it. This setup forces you to take a breath. You just mark the closing price of that huge gap up day, and you do absolutely nothing until the price proves itself by breaking above that level.
And would you look at this? Palantir was a textbook case. It gapped way up on huge volume after earnings, a classic moment where FOMO would destroy most accounts. But a patient trader? They would have just marked that closing price and waited. When it broke that level a day later, that was the real start of the move. And the stock went on to double. See? Patience paid off, big time.
The third setup is called the Undercut Rally, and it's one of Ariel's absolute favorites. This is a sneaky move. It's designed to shake people out of their positions. The price dips just below a really important support level, which triggers everyone's stop losses and scares them into selling. But then, it violently reverses and rallies right back above that level. The sheer power of this pattern was on full display with Netflix. It undercut a key low, a move that looked incredibly bearish. It shook out all the nervous sellers. But that dip, that was actually the big institutions quietly absorbing all those shares. The sharp reversal that came next marked the exact bottom before a massive run to new all-time highs. But listen, having these amazing entry setups is only half the battle. Without rock-solid rules to protect your money and manage your own psychology, even the best system on earth is going to fail. You need guardrails.
This brings us to what might be the most critical part of this whole thing. It's not about being right all the time. Nobody is. It's about making absolutely sure that when you're wrong, your losses are tiny and manageable. That way, you're still in the game when those big winners finally show up.
This right here. This is the core difference in mindset. The trader on the left is basically gambling. They're making emotional entries, hoping for a win, and they're exposed to massive losses. The trader on the right, they're operating a business. They have a system, defined risk, and it's built to last.
The entire goal is to move from that left column over to the right. And this whole system is held together by two simple, non-negotiable rules. Rule 1. You always have a defined stop loss before you even think about entering a trade. You know exactly where you're wrong. And Rule 2, you use proper position sizing. By risking only a tiny percentage of your account on any one trade, you make sure that no single loss can ever knock you out of the game.
So let's bring it all home. These tools, these rules, they aren't just a strategy. They combine to forge a completely new mindset that can fundamentally change your results in the market. This system is a complete mental shift. You're no longer an emotional reactor, desperately chasing prices and trying to jump on a moving train. You become a patient hunter. You sit calmly, you wait, and you let the market bring a high probability opportunity directly to you. You see, by knowing your specific setups and religiously managing your risk, you replace fear and greed with confidence and discipline. You know deep down that if you miss one trade, another one is always coming. There's no reason to chase because you have a system. And in the end, that's really what it all boils down to, isn't it? The $10 million journey didn't start with a lucky guess or a hot tip. It started with the answer to that simple question. What's yours?